How's it going, guys? I gotta say, at the end of a long day, it is glad to be with you. It is glad. I'm glad to be with you. Okay, so we've tweeted. Did a YouTube sound check. Let's do a quick Twitch sound check. Yeah, looks good. Okay. I think we're ready to get going. Oh, you know what? I need to... Sorry, I've been having this issue with YouTube. I need to update the video title. For some reason, it keeps using old titles. People are going to think we're playing Godfall tonight, which we are going to come back to, but we're not doing that tonight. Okay. This should just take a second. Sorry, I wish I could, face you guys while I'm doing this, but I can't. This laptop... I'm working actually at my work-from-home station that I have to set up and tear down every time I switch from working to streaming. And right now my streaming laptop is way over here in the corner, and the monitor that I play on is right in front of me that I also work on. And my streaming laptop's in the same place that my work laptop normally is, but I'm normally not... I don't type on my work laptop. I type on the keyboard that's in front of the monitor, on my gaming keyboard. So we're going to do some discussion tonight, as always. I'm excited for tonight because I think tonight's going to be one of the more upbeat topics. It is a topic we covered, gosh, it's probably been a couple weeks now. Okay, so YouTube's updated, so the live stream information is correct. Okay. So let's go back to the studio and make sure that it looks correct. Yep. Okay. We're not dropping frames. Bitrate looks good. Frame rate looks good. All right, let's log in. Let me just check the Twitch title to make sure I didn't mess that up too. And make sure we're in the right directory. And we are in... Oh, we're in Marvel's Avengers. But my title's wrong. Gotta fix that. Cool. All right. So I did want to check, actually, while we're oh, I didn't see this. Corrupted Vibranium event. New live event now active until September 2nd. Why is it limited time? Why do they do these limited time events? I don't know. Whatever. Corrupted Vibranium clusters are appearing across the globe. Avengers have been tasked with destroying them to prevent the corruption from spreading. Event rewards Vibranium gear, Sonic gear, exclusive nameplates, and more. Okay, well, we'll definitely check that out when we can, but one of the things I wanted to do was look at one of the speed leveling strats. Because honestly, I'm in the boat of the belief that leveling is not content. And we've already beat the campaign, so really, if I'm going to level on stream, I'm just going to be going back through old content until we've leveled high enough to be able to do this new event and also the other missions in Wakanda that are like level 100 or something. So that's just kind of boring, to be honest. Like, if I was one of you guys, I'd probably switch streams and go watch some other game if I was doing this for too long. So I wanted to check, because I did read an article today about a good speed leveling strat. And if you're in chat and you know a good speed leveling speed leveling trick for this game, feel free to shout out. I don't consider that a spoiler. Okay, where was this article? It was earlier today. Maybe it was it last night? Here. I'll just do a web search for it. Marvel's Avengers speed leveling. Okay, so we can't forget to use our consumable. That's step number 1. That adds 50% more XP on top of the double XP event. Okay. Oh, I gotta kill this ad, or my CPU is gonna crash. There we go. Recommends running hives. Up from the depths, Black Widow mission in Northern Expanse. Okay, let's see if that mission is even available. Kill high value target, which you can earn down easily. Immediately after you do so, reload the checkpoint, or if you miss that, reload the mission. Keep killing that dude, and this is easily the fastest XP farm in the game. Okay. But is that going to get... That's just going to get me to 50 fast. What about gear score? Hives set at +5 above power and get drops at the end that are guaranteed to raise my slot power. Drop zones for minor artifacts. And then using stores to fill in, like the faction stores, to boost up slots that are falling behind. Okay. Northern Expanse, up from the depths. It's 10 above, but I think we should be fine. Okay, so there were kind of a handful of things there, but I think we should be able to keep track of those.
Hey, Commander. Here to say thank you. Yeah. Did Dr. Forsen and your defectors have any intel?
Yes. Their former employees have an underwater laboratory working on something to, and these are their words, change reality forever.
Sounds ominous. Jarvis get us any specifics?
He's looking, but it seems
So if you guys are new, thank you so much for hopping in the channel tonight. This channel is a two-pillared channel. The first pillar is just relaxing and having fun playing games together. I play all different kinds of games. I play co-op games like this, Avengers, Godfall. I used to play Destiny a lot. I don't play that so much anymore. I play Souls-likes. I play 2D platformers. I play RPGs. I play lots of different kinds of games. The main games I don't play are inventory management games and like really open sandbox type games. So examples of that would be like RimWorld or Stardew Valley. I'm not really into games like that. I also don't really play games like that open world survival game that came out recently that was really successful. The Viking one. What was that called? Okay. Gosh, what is that game called? Okay. Alright, so that was pretty fast. That was like, what, half of a level? A third of a level?
That was not bad.
I don't remember the name of the game. This is gonna kill me. I'm gonna look it up real quick on my phone. Valheim. That's it. Games, I'm not usually into survival games like that. Yeah, so the two pillars of the channel are just chill games. I do a mixture of just sort of like replayable co-op or even single player games like this, and I also do Let's Plays. I do have a Portal Let's Play, the original Portal. I may do Portal 2 at some point, not sure, but I'm planning to do a lot more Let's Play games at some point. Right now there's just a lot of
Tell Commander Hill what I told you.
DLCs and stuff going on in the looter world, so we're focusing on that right now. But so it's games and then also discussion topics, particularly discussion around the Christian faith. I myself am a Christian, and it is unsurprisingly something that is very important to me. It's the most important part of my life, and it's also something that I really enjoy talking about, discussing, thinking critically about. So I have a series of discussion topics lined up that we've been kind of rotating through the last few weeks, and I'm gonna keep we're gonna keep rotating through them for the time being. So if you have stuck around for the last like 3 weeks or so, you've probably seen us loop through the topics, and I'm not under the illusion that there's many of you guys out there. This is still a very new channel. I've only been streaming for about a month, so even just hanging out here for half an hour, talking a little bit, saying something in chat, hitting the subscribe button, even a like on YouTube, those are all huge boons for the channel, and they also mean that we're having an opportunity to build a community and discuss important things. So I really am grateful for that. But yeah, those are the 2 pillars of the channel. I usually stream for about 2.5 hours at a time. I do have a full-time job, so I'm only available to stream at nights right now. I usually get on around 9:30 and then finish around midnight or a little before. Try to go to bed by midnight. And I stream Mondays through Thursdays. I dual stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So if you are on YouTube and you hear me responding to a comment that you don't see, it's because I'm talking to someone on Twitch and vice versa. So don't think I'm a crazy person. I'm just engaging with both platforms. And I'll do my best to crosstalk so that you guys are aware of what each other are saying, so that we can engage in conversation together. I don't think that should be too confusing, unless, hopefully someday we get a lot of people involved. But for now, I don't think it should be too difficult to figure that out.
The scientists are on the other side of that door. Ah! Keep firing! We have to hold out! They really don't want those scientists getting out of here.
So I usually just play for about an hour, and then we'll start the discussion around 10:30, 11 o'clock or so. And I do try to do you guys the favor of starting the discussion before I get too tired. It's definitely, easier to just play games when I'm tired than have a in-depth discussion. So I'm totally open and willing to discussing things until the stream's over. But I just want to give you guys the highest quality version of myself as I can, and that involves trying to start the discussion a little bit earlier, just so that we can get through the notes I took and the things I want to talk about with you guys before it gets too late.
This is all they have for that red pepper.
Okay, I'm trying to learn the pounce. I feel like my button presses on that have not been very consistent. Wow. Whoops. I love the sound effects for him. They're very good. They're very well done. Especially all the vibranium noises with his suit. Those are really cool.
Thank you, Widow. But you need to shut down the work we're doing here. How? Get to the main reactor and steal the X element at its core.
X element? What is that?
It's complicated.
I'm assuming AIM won't part with this X element easy. What's security like at the reactor?
Everything here is motion activated, including security.
Getting in and out unseen is Widow's specialty.
Guess it's time to go stealth.
There's a chest with gear close by.
I think we'll probably do a hive after this.
We have made Wakanda proud.
You're never gonna get through that door with our little invisibility on your side.
There's no point if these idiots are looking at us.
There's a chest with special resources close to your location.
Last time I played this mission, it glitched out, and the allies wouldn't follow me. They would just disappear before I walked into the room. So when I would go down because I think I was playing it, I was under leveled, and I had to keep resetting the checkpoint. And I realized I was like just running ahead and starting this room so quickly that the bots, for some reason, they weren't catching up, and then they would just disappear. It was a weird glitch, but I'm not seeing it this time, thankfully.
This will hurt.
Right.
That's a really long takedown animation. If I have any complaint about him as a character so far, it's that the takedowns are just absurdly long.
We will not be terrorized.
Nicely done.
Head back on your Christmas gift list.
You're getting there. I'd at least send you a card. The reactor must be ahead.
Actually, I said we'd do a hive after this, but I'm not going to be high enough level for that, I don't think. Unless there's a way to do it at low level.
worse all the time.
What? That's a nice glitch. There's a lot of chests on this level. And they're easy to find too. You don't have to wander around to get them. Okay, what do we got here? 41. 38. Okay.
What the hell is that?
That is the X-element reactor. It has 4 fail-safe mechanisms to protect its main power switch. Destroy them, and the intranet connection Agent Romanoff requested should be all we need.
Did you plan for this, Widow?
This? No. Stealing something from AIM is not a nice bonus.
Father, guide me!
How many pieces of gear have I gotten so far? Like 6 or 7?
The next is
That's
our
pretty
number
good.
4.
That's a pretty good rate.
Jarvis, how's your connection?
Because we've only been playing for what, like 10 minutes maybe?
Files now.
You don't let me in on whatever is happening, I will scrap this mission.
You and I both know I'm the only person who can do this. Just trust me.
Oh, I have to go all the way down there. Okay.
Another one down.
There are more motion-activated security measures above you. Stealth is advised.
Alright, 2 more.
Jarvis, what is this X-element for?
I'm still trying to determine its use.
Drop me somehow!
Starting to enjoy this, are you?
Alright, how do we get up there? These are annoying. I don't want to go down, I want to go up.
Here's an energy boost.
How do we get up there? Oh, over here.
Tank's getting kind of low here. Widow's down.
element has been secured.
What did you put in their computers?
A worm. Siphons money in small amounts.
So we
from
get
all their
XP for
offshore
finishing the
accounts.
mission too, right?
It'll be months before AIM realizes anything is missing.
American dollars?
Thought you might be paying attention, Tony. I'm sending you all a location. Meet me there and I'll explain everything.
Okay, don't care about this. Seen that a million times.
Jarvis, any answers for us about X element and what it's for?
It will take analysis and a laboratory to determine for certain. Please bring the element to the high-pressure container on board the Chimera.
Can do.
I should have noted what level we were at the beginning. I want to say it was 38. Was it 38 at the beginning? Now, we didn't get a whole character level from doing that. But I think it's probably worth at least playing that a few more times. It seemed like it would be efficient for see, that's not plus 10. I'm level 42 now. So it's not plus 10. It's minus 2. They really need to fix that glitch where the power levels not only don't display properly like that, but they also, the missions reset at just like bogus power levels. So you can't even do most of the missions in the game until you're pretty late or pretty high gear score. Instead of just letting you play it at the level you are and have it scaled to your level, and then it just keeps scaling to your level. Like for regular missions, you should be able to do that. I understand end game, you want that to be saved for players with high gear scores. That's fine. But just regular missions, you should be able to play those whenever you want at whatever gear score you are.
And thus cannot be moved.
Yeah. Roger that. Time to commandeer a deep sea elevator.
Oh, oops, I accidentally started. Ugh. I accidentally forgot to change characters. Whoops.
Hey, Commander. Here to say thank you. Yeah. Did Dr. Forson and your defectors have any intel?
Yes. Their former employees have an underwater laboratory working on...
You didn't mention we'd be having a snow day. You're landing on one of the few above-ground entrances to AIM's underwater network.
We need Jarvis inside AIM security systems, so they can't warn anyone down below that we're coming. You ready to go for a ride, bud?
I assume you're being metaphorical.
I wish we
as
could
I
skip
have no
this.
physical location and thus cannot be moved.
Yeah.
It's probably a loading screen.
Time to commandeer a deep sea elevator.
Our lives never get more normal, do they?
I'm working my way through layers of encryption, but it will take me a moment to get to the elevator controls.
I'll take these guys out while we wait. Sorry, boys. Got an elevator coming.
There it is.
That unit is emitting an NFC security field. You'll need to take it out to gain access to the elevator.
I was just walking away as if I'm not even there. Go attack that thing. My goodness, dude. I couldn't even move.
Here's an energy.
The elevator is now under our control.
So you do get a guaranteed piece of gear every time you defeat it. Plus you get XP. So we'll keep track of the level. So it's like, what, a quarter of the way up?
Hey Jarvis, that thing I mentioned?
Yes, Miss Romanoff.
What was that?
Fine. Jarvis, tell Commander Hill what I told you.
AIM's network security is weakest below sea level. Miss Romanoff asked me to open a connection to the underwater lab's intranet.
Why?
You'll see. Alright, I'm in. What's next?
Guards up ahead.
And we're getting an SOS.
Can anyone hear us? We have to fall back! Fall back!
Sorry, 1 second.
Oh my god!
It's one of our scientists. I'm heading for them now. Jarvis, other than our little side project, dig for any info on what they need ocean pressure and volcanoes for down here.
Understood.
So how many people are in our directory tonight? Let's see. So on Twitch there's less than 1,000. 927 people on viewers for Marvel's Avengers. So I'm not seeing myself in the directory right now. Why am I not in the directory? That's weird. Let's fix that, because it's concerning. Still trying to figure this stuff out. That's honestly something I probably should be checking every night to make sure, because the title lists it correctly on my Twitch page, but like if I go to my dashboard, it'll say, for Stream Manager, it'll say I'm in Avengers. Sort by viewers. I'm gonna be at the bottom, but I don't even see myself. Oh, was I just not? Oh, I needed to resort it, I think. Hold on. Yeah, there I am. Okay. No, so we are here. We're here. Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. Just got a little nervous there. Okay. Okay. All good. The directory was sorted by recommended rather than by viewer count, so it was only showing like the top 20 hits or something like that, and mine wasn't showing up on that list. But then I sorted it by viewer count and just scrolled to the bottom and found myself there, so we're good.
Get back in the fight, soldier. Now you've done it. Oh, Wakanda!
So let me know if the game volume's too quiet. I turned it down a little bit tonight.
Black Widow! Is that you? We need help!
On my way, Dr. Rachel. Hold tight.
Not really an option!
It takes real guts
It's
standing
not
up to
really an
militant
option.
bosses. But something tells me Brain won't win over Brawn here.
That's what they called us for.
Wait, Brain won't win over Braun here. That's what they called us for. So that implies that all the Avengers are stupid and they're just strong. I think that's an unintentional dialogue gaffe.
Whoever trained you should be embarrassed.
Oh, that's a
Scientists
lot
on
of
the other side of that door.
fragments. That's a ton of fragments. I think there was like 30 fragments on the ground. I don't know how that happened. I'll take it though.
They really don't want those scientists getting out of here.
Maybe they shouldn't have trained them so well.
Widow's here!
Attention, AIM security. Please report to Hall F to address a disturbance.
We have made Wakanda proud.
You know, given the fact that the high value target drops a guaranteed piece of gear at the beginning every time, and it's like a quarter of a level worth of experience, this is what I'm doing right now is probably a lot less efficient.
Got something in your eye?
shut down the work we're doing here. Get to the main reactor and steal the X element at its core.
X element? What is that?
It's complicated.
Okay, we'll get these couple of chests that are right up here. And I think it may be...
Everything here is motion activated, including security.
I definitely want to stop before... Oh, you know what though? We have to do this whole section before we can... Can we skip this part?
There is a chest with special resources.
I know I can get this chest. And then there's a chest on the other side of the turrets too. I think we can... Oh, that's right. There's one here, and then there's also one on the other side of the turrets. So there's 3 right here. Seems worth it to try to get all those.
You're never gonna get through that door without a little invisibility on your side.
There's no point if these idiots are looking at me.
What happens if we reload the checkpoint? Will we be able to get those 2 chests again?
Assuming AIM won't part with this X element easily. What's security like at the reactor?
Everything here is motion activated, including security.
Getting in and out unseen is Widow's specialty.
I
Guess
kinda
it's time
doubt
to
it.
go stealth.
Otherwise, I found like the shortest path to gear leveling in the history of the game. Yeah, no, you can't get those chests again. You have to restart the level. Well, actually, let me. If I do the control panel, I think I still have to fight the enemies, right? Sorry, I gotta dip out for just a second. Be right back, guys. Alright, I'm back. I don't think I can just go through this door. Yeah. So I think it's worth it to just return to the Quinjet and restart the mission. I really do think that's going to be the most efficient path for this. And it might be the most efficient to just take out the high value target at the beginning of the mission and then reset as opposed to going all the way through, because there's that one room that takes a while to get through, and I don't really get anything from it other than just the XP from the enemies, which isn't very much. So I'm thinking it's probably... We'll try just taking out the high value target a couple times and see what that does. Or see how fast that goes as far as leveling. And if you've tried this and you have any suggestions, I'm all ears.
Did Dr. Forson and your defenders have any intel?
Yes.
But it seems like this should be fairly quick, especially since the enemy's literally right there at the beginning of the mission.
We need Jarvis inside AIM security system so they can't warn anyone down below that we're coming. You ready to go for a ride, bud?
I assume you're...
The nice thing about going further is that there are many chests that are really easy to get to. I think there's like
Roger that.
before the finale of the level, there's like
Time to calm
6 chests or something like that.
Never get more normal, do they?
I'm working my way through layers of encryption, but it will take me a moment to get to the elevator control.
Sorry, boys. Got an elevator coming. Looks like we've got a special guest.
That unit is emitting an NFC security field. You'll need to take it out to gain access to the elevator.
Father, guide me!
And I might as well just throw everything I've got at him too, right? Because every time you reset the level, you start with full energy. Nothing's on cooldown.
The elevator is now under our control.
Oh, did we not get gear for that? I thought that was guaranteed. Okay, if that's not the case, that might change my thinking on this a little bit. Okay, I want to test that again. But what we're going to do is we're going to delete all the gear. So that way, if it, for whatever reason, it wasn't showing up, if the gear wasn't showing up when it dropped on the screen on that right-hand middle side of the screen, that I'll know if I got something because it'll show up as the only new thing in my inventory. Okay, so it already counted as complete. So we gotta go back to the... Well, you know what, no, let's keep going. I think because it did... Oh no, we said we were gonna test it, never mind, sorry. We're gonna test that one more time to see if we do get a piece of gear. And even if we do, we need to test it a couple more times because there might just be random drops. So we'll need more than just one data point. Oops.
Hey, Commander. Here to say thank you.
Yeah. Did Dr. Forson and your defectors have any intel?
Yes, their former employees have an underwater laboratory working on something to, and these are their words.
You didn't mention we'd be having a snow day.
You're landing on one of the few above-ground entrances to AIM's underwater network.
We need Jarvis inside AIM security systems, so they can't warn anyone down below that we're coming. You ready to go for a ride, bud?
I assume you're being metaphorical, as I have no physical location and thus cannot be moved.
Yeah, roger that. Time to commandeer a deep-sea elevator.
Our lives never get more normal, do they?
I'm working my way through layers of encryption, but it will take me a moment to get to the elevator controls.
These guys not welcome. Sorry, boys. Got an elevator coming. Looks like we've got a special guest.
That unit is emitting an NFC security field. You'll need to take it out to gain access to the elevator.
On.
Wow, 2 hits? Seriously? At least my basic attack. Oh my gosh. At least my basic attack has taken down the shield pretty fast. What? Okay. This isn't going as planned. My goodness, dude. I can't even get up and dodge. What is happening? What?
Time to commandeer a deep-sea elevator.
Our lives never get more normal, do they?
I'm working my
Okay.
way through layers of encryption,
Sure.
but it will take me a moment to get to the elevator controls.
Sorry, boys. Got an elevator coming. Looks like we've got a special guest.
That unit is emitting an NFC security field. You'll need to take it out to gain access to the elevator.
On.
Father, guide me!
So why are my fists red? Seriously, we lost a stagger because he was shielded. This is taking forever. So much for melting this guy.
The elevator is now
Okay, so did we get gear from him or not?
Nice work, team.
Doesn't look like we did. Okay, see, was this from him or was this a drop from the fight before? Either way, that's just really inefficient. Let's just keep going for a bit.
That thing I mentioned?
Yes, Miss Romanoff.
I think we'll start the discussion topic in about 5 minutes.
Fine. Jarvis, tell Commander Hill what I told you.
AIM's network security is weakest below sea level. Miss Romanoff asked me to open a connection to the underwater lab's intranet.
Why?
You'll see. All right, I'm in. What's next?
Guards up ahead.
And we're getting an SOS.
Can anyone hear us? We have to fall back! Fall back! Oh my god!
One of our scientists. I'm heading for them now. Jarvis, other than our little side project, do you have any info on what they know ocean pressure and volcanoes for now?
Understood.
Wait, wasn't there a chest here before? The more I do this, the more I'm convinced that this is just not the way to go.
They keep scoring lucky hits.
You're good now.
I owe you one. See you later.
The scientists are engaged in combat further inside the lab.
Then let's make this good. All right, who's next?
Black Widow! Is that you? We need help!
On my way, you Dr. Prince. Hold tight.
Not really an option!
That takes real guts, standing up to your militant bosses. But something tells me Brain won't win over Brawn here. That's what they called us for.
That line just gets me every time. Oh, here's a loot goblin.
The scientists are on the other side of that door.
Oh, he's running away. No, come back. Barely did anything.
You have my thanks, and the thanks of my
See, now that is worth it. But those guys don't spawn every time. So... Alright, so let's check that out first. So we're level 44 right now. Oops. So we just got 5 levels just from that.
want those scientists getting out of here.
Maybe they shouldn't have trained them so well.
Widow's here!
Attention, AIM security. Please approach the hull F to address a disturbance.
Okay, there is a chest here, right? Is there a chest? Oh yeah, over here. I mean, if a loot goblin was guaranteed every time, I would absolutely, hands down, we would do this. But it's not. And I don't know what the percentage chance of one spawning is. Alright, I said we'd start the discussion topics in about 5 minutes, about 6 minutes ago, so let's clear this room, and I think that'll be a natural place to start our discussion. We'll keep playing, I just want to kind of get the discussion off the ground first. See, I feel like that should just do way more damage than it does.
Thank you, Widow. But you need to shut down the work we're doing here. Get to the main reactor and steal the X element at its core.
X element? What is that?
It's complicated.
Okay, so there will be the 2 easy chests.
What's security like at the reactor?
Everything here is motion activated, including security.
Getting in and out unseen is Widow's specialty.
Guess it's time to go stealth.
There is a chest with gear close by.
Do not be intimidated.
There is a chest with special resources close to your location.
You're never gonna get through that door without a little invisibility on your side.
There's no point if these idiots are looking at me.
Okay, we'll get the chest on the other side of this room, and then we'll reset the mission and start our discussion.
Try this on for size. Gotta take a few more of these guys down to get through.
Nicely done.
I'm back on your Christmas gift list?
You're getting there. I'd at least send you a card. The reactor must be ahead.
I'm detecting high levels of unusual radiation.
Jarvis confused? Oh, that can't be good.
Avengers! Have you reached the reactor?
About to.
Just keep the motion detection thing in mind, okay?
You got it.
This deal is getting worse all the time.
Oh, there's actually 2 chests in this room. Okay. Still don't think it's worth it, probably. Alright, let's reset. Let's see what we got to. Okay, so, last night we talked about the anatomy of salvation. Talked about how the gift of salvation is given and how it's received. It is given through grace and it is received in faith. Tonight we're going to talk about kind of the more practical impact of becoming a believer and what it will do to your life as a result. And not just, this isn't a sales pitch about what will happen to you, because we are going to talk some about that, but it's more to emphasize the paradigm shifts that will occur in our life as a result of taking on Christ and taking on the Holy Spirit and being sanctified through God's work in our life. One of the core tenets of Christianity is that we don't have the ability to reverse our sin nature. That's something that only God can do through the working of His hand, and that begins when we accept through faith His gift of salvation by grace. So essentially what we're going to be talking about is sanctification, the process of God changing us and molding us to become more like Him, and what sanctification does to change our life's paradigm and how we see things. So not only what about our life will change, but also how our perspective will change. So there's 3 main points I wanted to go over. The first one is, point number 1 is that every aspect of life will be affected. Point number 2 is that God promises a challenging but thorough transformation. And point number 3, which I have to scroll down to because it's lower on the page, is unexpected joy. So those are the 3 points. So the first point, which is every aspect of life is affected, means exactly what it says. And that is that by accepting Christ into my heart, every aspect of my life has changed as a result of God working in and through my life. So not only what He changes in my mind and in my heart, but also how He's changed who I am and my outward lifestyle and the way that I treat others and engage with others and form relationships with others. So I think I mentioned a few weeks ago that when I just kind of shared a little bit about my life, and I think you'll find, if I recall correctly, if you want to re-listen to that, I'm not going to go over that again, because I just don't want this discussion to be about me and my life. I'm happy to answer questions. That's not the point of this discussion. The very first Avengers stream that I did, I talk about kind of my faith journey, and in that discussion I mentioned that I really started to take my faith seriously when I turned 17. And God had done some things in my heart to knock on my door and knock on the door of my life to wake me up, and used friends, in particular one very good friend of mine, to wake me up to the fact that I was not living out a life that was according to his commands, and I wasn't being obedient to him. And so that's the point where I really start to talk about, like, when I talk about how God's changed me when I was 17, that's kind of really when this whole journey started. Or I should say it's when a discussion about the various ways that he's changed me starts. He did change me before that, but since 17 is right around adulthood, I think it kind of makes sense to just start the discussion, at least in particular for my life, at that age, because that was just such a momentous time for me. So if we mark when I was 17 as kind of the beginning of that journey, God has worked through my friendships. He's worked through my marriage. My amazing wife, who I've been married to for just over 3 years. We celebrated our 3rd-year anniversary in June. Through my relationship with my son, who's almost 2.5 years old. He's taught me how to love and serve better, how to love and serve others, love and serve him, how to be more gracious and patient, and be less selfish with my time. That's something that I've struggled with for a long time. And so those things are all areas that, and that's not even an exhaustive list. Those are just some of the areas that God's worked in my life to change me from the inside out. And there's 2 important points to make about that. Number one, side notes to make about that. Number one is that I'm not pointing that out to say how good of a person I am. Because the whole concept of a quote-unquote good person is kind of counter to what a Christian believes about how God changes us. We are not good intrinsically. We are not good on our own. We are made good by God. So I credit him with those changes in my life. I don't take credit for those changes. So that's the difference. This isn't a self-help seminar. I'm not giving you tips and tricks on how to become more loving, or how to serve your wife more, or how to be less selfish with your time. That's not at all the point of this. That's going to be a journey between you and God. Whatever your prime weaknesses are as a person, through prayer and steadfast commitment to reading his word and building that relationship with him and allowing him to work in you, that's something that will happen if you let him into your heart. But and he knows your heart better than you do, and knows your weaknesses better than you do, knows your strengths better than you do, and so he'll work with you in those areas to make you into the version of you that he has designed you to be. But really, the point of this is just to say that he's done a lot of amazing things that are all credited to him in my life, as a result of that process of sanctification. And it's an ongoing process that will continue through my entire life. I will never be perfect on this earth, and that's also part of the deal too. Is that we're going to continue to sin and continue to make mistakes, and that's actually one of the points I was going to talk about. I think that's actually the next point. Yeah, the point about transformation. We're going to talk about the idea of continuing to sin. But to conclude this first point, every aspect of life is affected. By accepting Christ into your heart, every aspect of your life will be affected. Maybe not right away, and some aspects may not be affected as much as others, but every aspect of your life will be affected. So the second point is that God promises a challenging but thorough transformation in your life. And this point's related to the first one, but the kind of the nuance that I wanted to expand on for this section was the idea that that God doesn't promise us nowhere in any of his word, in any of scripture, has he promised us that our sins will go away when we start to believe in him, or that life will become easy by becoming a Christian. He doesn't promise either of those things. So if you accept Christ into your heart, it would be unwise of you to expect either that your sins would go away or that life will become easier by being a Christian. And I say easy, I say that kind of in worldly terms, like he doesn't promise financial prosperity. He doesn't promise a large family or a wife or relationships or a successful career or anything like that. None of those things are specifically promised. And he does promise some things, and we'll get to what those things are, but not that life will be easy. So he does promise to change us, and not only change us, but change us to become more like him, which by definition is a change towards goodness, a change towards holiness, a change towards perfection that is all credited back to him, not something that we're able to achieve on our own effort. And one of the beautiful things about this is there's a quote from one of my favorite authors, Tim Keller, a pretty well-known author in Christian circles. He has some really good books, Prayer, Walking with God Through Pain and Suffering, The Meaning of Marriage. There's several really good books that he's written that I've read that I really enjoyed and would recommend to anyone that's interested in growing in any of those areas. But he had a great quote that God sees us as we are, loves us as we are, and accepts us as we are, but by his grace, he does not leave us as we are. So there's two very profound things going on there. One is that we can come to God in our years and years of racked up sin and messed upness and brokenness and say, Lord, I need you. I confess my sin to you. I believe that your son died for me and redeemed me. Welcome into my heart. And that he allows us to do that at any point in our life. We don't have to earn that somehow by doing good deeds or by earning brownie points with him. We simply are able to do it at any point by accepting that gift of grace. It's a free gift. It's not, there's no strings attached to that. So that's the part about him seeing us as we are. He knows us more intimately than we even know ourselves. He loves us as we are. Because he made us. He does love us. And he accepts us as we are. But he doesn't just stop there. And society stops there. Our society very much says, accept me as I am. I don't know, I can't even tell you how many love songs I've listened to where it'll say, accept me how I am. You don't need to change a thing. I always want you to be this way. That's not where God leaves us. And thank goodness that that's the case. He, by his grace, he doesn't leave us in our current state. Because our current state is utterly depraved and sinful and broken. And by coming to know him, will look back and be so eternally grateful and thankful that he didn't leave us in the state that we're in. That by accepting the Christ into our life, that and his gift of salvation, that we are so thoroughly changed and given hope and joy and satisfaction that just simply cannot be expressed in terms that could be understood if we remained in our depravity. So that quote, I think, is just has stuck with me because it's so it represents the two sides of the coin really well, I think. So I mentioned the term paradigm shift earlier, and that was kind of the header for this topic, was how faith changes life's paradigm. So we covered every aspect of life is affected. God promises a challenging but thorough transformation. So one of the subpoints under this idea of transformation is that accepting Christ will result in a paradigm shift that's multifaceted. The first aspect is that the first major paradigm shift is that we will learn that the purpose of life is not our own quality of life. And if you're a gamer, you're familiar with that term, quality of life. We use that all the time to refer to things in the game that developers put in to make our life a little bit easier, to make the game smoother, better, to just overall make our experience with the game better, by removing obstacles between us and the fun that the experience provides. And so much of what we do naturally is seeking for ways to reduce that resistance. We want more money so that we don't have to worry about our financial future, so we don't have to worry about providing for our kids and our husbands and wives. We want a good career so that we can have a satisfying satisfying and purpose-filled life. We want all these things, and we want things to not get in the way of us getting those things, and so we want our quality of life to be improved so that we can get those things. And so that's our kind of default mindset. But the purpose of life, as you live out the Christian life, you'll realize that the purpose of life is not your own quality of life. And there will be so many times as a believer where you will sacrifice your own well-being for the well-being of someone else. And of course there are boundaries. There are limits to certain aspects of it, because we're still human and we still only have the capacity to handle things to a certain level. And we can go into more detail if you guys have questions about like specific, kind of more specifically what I'm talking about. That we can totally go into that. And if you have a troubling example from your own life, like, hey, like, I want to do this for someone else, but it feels like something that would, really, really cause hurt or sacrifice for me as a person, and I don't know if I can handle that. Like, I'm totally happy to talk about that, or if that's too personal to share in public, you can feel free to send a whisper on Twitch or something, just so that it's not, or message me on Twitter, so that DM me, so that it's not just out in the public. But regardless, whether or not you're comfortable doing that doesn't really matter. The point is that the quality of our life is not the primary driver for the things that we do anymore. In fact, it's just simply not the driver for the things that we do anymore. So the purpose of life is not our own quality of life. The things we obtain, so to expand on this a little bit, the things we obtain in life, so material wealth, relationships, career, success, just as examples, common examples, Oh, we lost. That's fine, though. We'll just go back to the beginning anyway and get the... we'll reload the mission. Those things are no longer the goal, but simply things that may happen along the way. So our life's purpose is no longer to obtain those material, temporal, finite things. And to go further on that, to make sure that there's no misunderstanding about this, Scripture does not condemn good things. In fact, Scripture takes a positive stance on experiencing good things as long as they are not a substitute for or placed as a priority above God. So I'm going to say that again because that's really important. Scripture does not condemn good things. In fact, Scripture takes a positive stance on experiencing good things as long as they are not a substitute for or placed as a priority above God.
Now that she's distracted, Jarvis, what the
And
hell is going
I
on?
will confess right away that
I'm not certain.
this still being sinful and still making mistakes, I have a tendency to substitute God with something else in my life. To find myself subconsciously worshiping things that are not God. Whether it be that there's been periods in my life where I've done that with relationships, trying to find a girl, or trying to find a wife, or having kids, or some aspects of my career, or friendships, or even hobbies and interests. Like those things have become such a focus and importance in my life that they've substituted God, and that's when they become sinful. But those things in and of themselves, as long as they don't contain things that would cause us to sin in our heart, those are good things. Like those are all examples of good things. Our career can be good. Our relationship with our wife or husband or kids, those are all can be good things. So substituting God is not okay, and placing those things as a priority above God. So even if we still love God and worship God and our relationship with God is growing, but it's not the top priority, that's when we also get in trouble too. So we're only capable of experiencing good things by understanding that they are not our objective. And I think that's really, hopefully, that one sentence there drives at the heart of what I'm trying to say, so that there's no misunderstanding about, weighing good things on the pedestal against, trying to get myself on the camera here, weighing good things against our worship and obedience with God. Good things are, we understand they're good because they come from a good source. We only understand that when we don't make those things our purpose. When we make serving God our purpose, then the good things that He gives us as gifts, a wife, a family, a job, financial security, those things we recognize as good because they were not the thing that we're striving for. We realize that the thing that we're striving for, God, gave us those things, and therefore they are good. So our objective, rather than those things, career, relationships, wealth, etc., our objective is relationship with and obedience to Christ. So this whole subtopic is the paradigm shift. So that first part is, I'll review real quick. The purpose of life is not our own quality of life. The second point, the second paradigm shift that occurs is rather than accumulating, our heart desires to give, serve, and love. So rather than inwardly trying to absorb and consume various pleasures, experiences, ideas, wealth, material things, our heart desires to give, to look outward towards others, to serve others, and to love others. And I think one of the ways, just as an example, this is not the only example, but one good example of this is money, giving and receiving money. So Scripture does command us to give back some of the money that we earn to God, and we do that in the form of giving to our local church body through tithing. You may have heard that term before. If you grew up in a Christian circle, we give back through tithing. We give through donating to Christian charities or causes, and that idea of receiving income through worldly means, our career, our job. We receive income through our job, and then we give back. That giving back is done not out of obligation, even though it is commanded. We don't do it only because it's obligated. We do it because by giving, we're showing that we trust that God is going to be able to do more amazing things with that portion that we give back than we could have by keeping it. So we have that outward-looking perspective that desires to give, serve, and love that we would not have had otherwise.
Take it out to gain access to the elevator.
So that's the second point. That wraps up the second point. God promises a challenging but thorough transformation. The third point is unexpected joy. And by the title, you can tell that this is a lighthearted one. This is a nice one. Although I'd say overall in our discussion tonight, things are generally pretty positive and uplifting, but this one is particularly so, in my opinion. Unexpected joy. The hope that we have in being Christians and being followers of Christ is that God will give us joy that we could never have received or understood otherwise. Give us a type of joy that we could never have received or understood otherwise. He changes us to become more like His perfect Son. So, what I'm not saying is that you can't experience any kind of joy or that you've never experienced any kind of joy if you're not a believer. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there's a type of joy that can only be experienced by Christ being in your life and changing you from the inside out. Oh, I thought he was down already. Okay, you know what I want to do? I want to go back to... I think we're going to go back to the Quinjet and then look to see if there's any hives available. So there's a particular kind of joy that's experienced through the paradigm shifts that we've talked about, the purpose of our life being not about our own quality of life, but by looking outward in our obedience and relationship with God, and rather than accumulating, our heart desires to give, serve, and love. Those things result in a sense of joy, true joy, the only true joy and satisfaction that is everlasting and deeply fulfilling in a way that no other kind of joy can be. And he does this by sanctifying us, by making us more like him. There's a verse from the Bible, from 2 Corinthians chapter 4, 16 through 18, that says, "Therefore we do not lose heart, though outwardly we are wasting away," the idea that we're still decaying and we're still sinful even though we have accepted Christ into our life, even though God is working within us. We're still going to die. We're still sinful. We're still wasting away. Yet inwardly, we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles, the challenges, trials in life, our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. So there's a juxtaposition there between we fix our eyes on not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. What is seen is temporary, and what he's saying there, what the author's saying there, is that what is seen are the things of this earth that give us that temporary joy. But what is unseen, God, is eternal. And he gives us an eternal, everlasting, profoundly deep joy. So we have troubles, we have trials, we have challenges in life, and we are wasting away because we are sinful and our bodies are finite. But our spirits are eternal, and we live out a life that is being renewed day by day because God, and only God, is working in us to change us. We don't get there on our own. We cannot get there on our own. That inward change, that renewal, only happens by God working in our life. So that's that unexpected joy that we can experience. And I call it unexpected because really there will be so many times in your life where it'll just hit you like, oh yeah, I can't believe how rewarding this is, how much joy I feel by serving God and by being part of his plan and what he wants me to do. And just seeing yourself change day in and day out to be more like Christ. It's just such a wonderful thing that is unmatched by anything else you could experience. Absolutely unmatched. Okay, so that wraps up our discussion for tonight. If you guys had any questions in chat, let me know. We did cover a lot. That was 3 different subtopics, and I know that there's always room for discussion and some points that may have been possibly a bit confusing or that you want to flesh out a little bit more. Totally down to do that. Just let me know in the chat and we'll go further with those points.
Recent intel suggests AIM is running further illicit projects in Venture Ridge. I suggest we pay the town a visit to disrupt them, and remind Monica the Avengers are a force to be reckoned with. I'm scanning the area and will feed you prime areas to target. Stand by.
Tomorrow our discussion topic is going to be on our miscellaneous section. So we're going to talk about motivation, what my motivations are for talking about these things on stream, why am I mixing this with video games, and also about misinformation on Christianity and how misinformation has spread, things we can do to stop it from spreading. And one of those things is me talking to you guys about it and being informative about what Scripture teaches, who God is, and what I believe, but also by just having a discussion about it, thinking critically and being being willing and able to engage in civil discussion about these issues.
One of our resistance allies is close by and could use some help. Look for a chest with gear nearby.
Okay, so I do want to go for the chests.
The clusters ahead are interconnected molecules of a volatile metal I cannot identify. You'll have to destroy them all or they'll regrow. A cluster has regrown. You must destroy them all or they will keep coming back.
The spire is shielded when in this state.
So is that all there is to this event, is just destroying 3 things?
Destroyed. I will use this data to attempt to identify their component molecules.
So there's a resource associated with that. It does give me gear, guaranteed gear, which is probably a really good way to level up, I would imagine.
Enemy forces will no doubt be protecting the
Okay, let's check what we got. I know we got a bunch of stuff. So we're up to 54 on melee, 58 on ranger. That's a big bump. 56 on defensive, and 51 on heroic. Okay. And then on ISOs, we got a 50. That's the best. Okay, we're up to 55. We've got 2 skill points. Oh, I like that. So an intrinsic meter is full. Trigger a burst by double tapping R2. Okay. Overcharge. It doesn't overcharge. I don't think I fully understand how that perk works, but that's fine. So is there something more to the vibranium thing in this mission than just destroying 3 crystals? I hope so. Let's go get the other chests.
There is an elite AIM unit near you. Defeat them, and you may gain something useful. I've detected another pocket of corrupted vibranium.
I mean, there's not even enemies here. Is that a glitch?
The clusters absorb kinetic energy and use it as a kind of temporary shield. When in this state, they cannot be destroyed.
Okay.
I
will have to wait for it to heat up.
This vein of corrupted
Okay.
vibranium has been destroyed.
There's got to be something more to it than that, right? I mean, getting the gear is awesome. I'll totally take it because I do want to level up fast, but the event itself is like more simple than anything else in the game, and that's saying a lot.
They challenged the Black Panther and his allies.
Wow.
Whatever you ask of me, it shall be done. Father, guide me! Another ball!
See, I wish that auto tracked a little bit, because, like, that's rough if you screw up the direction. Okay, so we got a chest over here.
This is it! This is gonna hurt.
That did it. Theo, work your magic.
You're safe now.
Okay, one more and then we'll go to the main objective.
I've detected another pocket of corrupted vibranium.
So we just sit here and wait.
This vein of corrupted vibranium has been destroyed. There's a shield cache near to you.
I forget how to open these. There's a symbol right here. Where's the entrance? Oh. There we go. So what was that, 3 chests? Are there more? I don't think so. Okay. So that just leaves the main objective now.
They must be joking.
Destroy the station's power core. The power core is offline.
Father, guide me.
You destroyed the power core.
We will not be terrorized. We are terror itself.
So if I double tap now... Okay, so that didn't work. I guess I have to be overcharged? Is that how that works? So it said the Vibranium event was a limited time event that goes until September 2nd. And it says it's handing out a specific resource. So are we only able to get that resource during the limited time event? And what do we use that resource for?
Nicely done.
I think we're gonna finish this mission and then I'm gonna call it a
You
night.
need to access the terminal to reach the turbines.
Do not be intimidated. Wakanda! And so you die in dishonor.
I'm not gonna go for the chests, I'm just gonna finish the
Destroy
mission.
turbines. AIM has sent forces to stop you. That turbine is finished. Well done. You disabled a turbine.
Meanwhile, my bots are doing absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Excellent. Turbine destroyed.
I really hope there's exotics for him that build around the concept of just constantly having your energy barrier up. Goodness.
Wakanda! Not while I rule.
There we
which
go,
was no longer
finally.
functional. If you can gain control of AIM's network temporarily, I can infiltrate their security system.
This will be the last.
AIM will attempt to initiate a shutdown protocol if they gain access to the
Okay, I
terminal.
think this is the last
You
room.
cannot let them. Beginning infiltration. Let's access that system. That helps, thank you. I'm inside AIM security system. Let's access that system. That helps, thank you. AIM has initiated their shutdown protocol. The shutdown protocol is progressing. I'm inside AIM. Let's access that system. Beginning infiltration.
Oh man, this
I'm inside AIM security system.
takes a lot.
Did I?
I've breached AIM security.
There we go. Alright. I don't think that was... If it wasn't for the vibranium, that would not have been worth it. I just wanted to check out what the vibranium event was. I really thought it was going to be something a little bit more in-depth than that, but
Ridge's projects are all offline. For now.
that's alright. We got a lot of gear from it, so I'm not going to complain. So, okay, so we started the night at... Let's get max level here first. Max available level, I should say. Clear out the inventory a bit. $65. We started at was it 33? I think. Chad, am I right on that? Was it 33? So we went up 32 levels in 2 hours, roughly. And we got about, I don't know, I think 6 or 7 character levels on top of that. So if you extrapolate that out, we need to grind up to 130. Well, the exotic artifact's giving us, or sorry, the major artifact's giving us 3 power, so that's 62. So 38 plus 30, 68. Okay, so if we got 32 levels in 2 hours and we need 68 more levels, that's about 4 more hours at the pace we went at tonight, which is like 2 more streams, not even 2 full streams. So here's the thing though. So we are closing up shop for tonight. It is Thursday night, which means that this is the last stream for the week. I probably will play, well, I shouldn't say probably, I might play some of this over the weekend to try to level them up a bit so that we can try to do OLTs and, you know, some of the end game stuff next week on stream. So yeah, I'm thinking, I'm playing Godfall off stream some as well, and we're gonna come back to that on stream. And then there's a bunch of indie games that I wanted us to play too, but I think we'll get there eventually. I'm not gonna rush anything. I want to enjoy each game we're playing. So yeah, I think if I do level up over the weekend, it's just going to be trying to get them to 5150. And if it takes about 4 more hours to do that, that's probably a realistic goal at least by the end of Monday night to have him at max level. Cool. Okay. Well, thanks for coming out tonight. Really appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Follow or subscribe or both on Twitch. I do dual stream, which means I stream both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. That's how I've been doing it pretty much since the beginning. This is a 4-month-old channel, so I appreciate you guys helping me get off the ground. As I've said many times before, and I'll continue to say this as I build community, this is a 2-pillar channel. We do games and we talk about the Christian faith on this channel. We do them both at the same time, but we're not discussing the whole stream. There is a section of the stream where we just play games. On the YouTube side, I am planning on breaking out the discussion section from the videos, so I'll have a playlist by game of all of the raw footage, and then there will be a separate playlist with just the snippets from each episode, from each stream that have the discussion topics, the 30 to 60 minute discussions. That will include the things I say, as well as the chat interaction and all that. It'll just be an organic just cut from that video that'll show everything in the discussion. So that way, if you want to go back and listen to a discussion on YouTube, you can do that basically in a podcast format, essentially. Or if you're just interested in watching a Let's Play of a game, that'll be available in the games playlist as well. So it's kind of up to you how you want to approach that. So I'll be editing and uploading videos over the weekend. So by Sunday night, you should start seeing stuff updated with 3 or 4 new episodes. Also call them episodes, but 3 or 4 new videos in the discussion playlist. Because I am trying to stream Monday through Thursday for about 2 to 2.5 hours each night. And we do a discussion every single stream. So There should be, if I do get around to it, if I do have the time, sometimes weekends are busy, but if I do have the time, I'll have 4 new videos at the end of the weekend for you to watch/listen to. So thanks again so much, guys, for coming out. I really have fun doing this, and I'm looking forward to building a strong community on this channel. I will be off this weekend, and I will be back on next Monday with some more Marvel's Avengers. So have a wonderful, safe, and blessed weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Take care.